Hey you guys, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, my name is Brittany. Welcome. Today's video is going to be about my experience with my scheduled cesarean and bringing home baby boy. So to get right into it, so I had to be at the hospital at 5 in the morning. So 5 in the morning, my husband and I, we get to the hospital and, they bring us up and, I check in. The day before, I had to have like some lab work done and stuff like that to make sure that I was okay and, to see how everything was going on with me and the baby. So they already knew, that I was coming in and, whatever. So when I get to the hospital at 5 in the morning, I didn't really have to do much. I just gave the lady my name. So she just was like, okay, you're here. I already had my wristbands on and everything from the day before. They told me not to take them off, so I already had that done. So basically everything was like smooth sailing. They brought my husband and I into the pre-op room, and yeah, so they brought us into the room where I had to change into the gown, and they hooked me up with an IV, and they hooked me up to the fetal heart rate monitor and to the contraction monitor. And I just kind of waited in there for about 5 hours. My husband and I, we just watched TV and just kind of talked and stuff like that. Nurses were coming in and just telling us kind of what to expect and stuff like that. So we waited, we played the whole waiting game. And yeah, so about 10 something, I'm not exactly sure what time it was like on the dot, but it was about 10 something. And the nurse finally came in. She was like, okay, the doctor's ready for you. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I was so nervous. My husband was praying for us, praying for me and the baby and stuff like that, just for the doctor and just in general, just for the whole experience. So they were like, okay, they made him also put on some protective wear, like like the shirt and the pants and the netting or whatever for his hair. So they came in, they took me, we walked to the operating room, and when we got in there, it was very cold. I remember it being very cold, and there was probably like 4 or 5 nurses in there and an anesthesiologist. So they made me sit on this bed, and I kind of had my feet just hanging off the bed, and I just remember like looking at everything that was going on around me, and I was just like, this is really happening. Like there's no going back. Like this is like really like about to go down. So I talked with the anesthesiologist, and she was, just telling me what she was about to do, asking me questions if I was allergic to anything, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so she was, telling me what to expect, kind of, giving me the steps of what she was going to do and how it should feel and whatever. So there was a nurse that came, and she kind of like was standing in front of me. The anesthesiologist was behind me. I was sitting on this bed. My feet were hanging off the bed. Guys, I'm sorry. My battery died. So, where was I? So, okay. So, the anesthesiologist, right? So, this nurse comes, and she's standing in front of me, and she puts her hands on my shoulders, and she was like, I just want you to relax or whatever. The anesthesiologist was like, you gotta hunch forward. So, I was like, okay. So, I hunched forward. And you guys, I felt that needle go on my back. That was some scary stuff. Like, it didn't hurt, but I felt like the medicine actually going into my spine. Like it was just so weird. It was like a warm, like kind of like this thick liquid was just like filling my back with, it was just really weird. So mind you, I've had an epidural before, but I believe they did like kind of numb me or I had some medicine before that, so I didn't really feel anything. So this time I didn't have anything. Like it was just like raw, and just I was just there, and no medicine, nothing, just me and this long needle and this liquid going through my spine, and it was just weird. So anyways, long story short, she put the medicine in my back, and I just felt it working immediately. They were like, you gotta lay down. So they hurried up. I hurried up and laid down, and I had my arms out like I was on the cross, and just a whole bunch of nurses just started taking over. It was just like a rush. And I guess it's because the medicine works for a certain amount of time, and she said something about it being affected by gravity. So when I'm sitting down, it's gonna go straight to my butt, but if I lay down, it's gonna go to like my whole lower body. So, you okay, baby? Sorry. So I lay down, and the nurses started taking over. They put the heart rate monitor, patchy things or whatever on me. They put the catheter in, and they started putting up the whole like cover, I guess, or whatever. And my husband came in, the doctor came in, and I just remember this bright light and just feeling very nervous. I was very nervous, and finally it was just like, okay, I didn't feel anything. My legs started to feel like very, like, just like they weren't there anymore. And it's kind of hard because it's like this kind of like when they gave me that medicine, it was just like everything was kind of like just happened so fast. So anyways, so the doctor just like, he started going, and I didn't feel anything. So for me to say when he actually started, I don't know. But all I know was that they were like, do you feel anything? And I was like, no, I'm okay. They were asking me questions, just trying to keep my mind at ease. And I remember the whole time I'm just in my mind, I'm just praying and just asking God to just, have his way in the situation, and have his, just to cover me during this operation or whatever. So I guess this time they're already, trying to get the baby out. So this man then got me so worried. Like the doctor, he was like, oh my gosh, I have never seen anything like this before. Her uterus has so much scar tissue and stuff. And I'm just like, why are you saying this stuff? I can hear everything you're saying, sir. Just because there's a cover doesn't mean that I'm deaf. So basically, my uterus was just like completely scarred from my surgery when I had the myomectomy to remove the fibroids. So yeah. So the reason why that's even the reason why I had to have the surgery in the first place, the cesarean, was because I had the fibroids. And when they took the fibroids out, there was too many, and there was so many cuts that they didn't want me to go into labor because they said my uterus could erupt. So they decided to schedule me for a cesarean so that way that wouldn't happen. So anyways, now that you have some background, which I should have probably said in the beginning. But yeah, so they're trying to get the baby out now. So this boy is running away from these people, and I just feel the lady like pushing, like she was standing like above me, like right here above me. And mind you, I'm laying down and she's standing next to me. And she's just like pushing in, like, oh my gosh. And mind you, it didn't hurt. I can't say that it hurt. But I will say that it was the freakiest thing I could ever... it was just the freakiest thing I ever been through. It was just crazy. It was like I could see her like going at my stomach, like just pushing, like from the top of my rib cage. Like he was like in a ball, like at the top of my rib, like at the top of my ribs. And hey baby, at the top of my ribs, and she was just trying to push him to where the doctor could reach him. So after they pulled him out, he finally came out at 10:50 in the morning. He weighed 7 pounds, 7.2 ounces, and he was measuring at 20 inches long. So when he came out, they laid him on the table, whatever, and they got him to cry. They put him on me, and when I tell you, when I seen this little boy, it was just like, OMG. Everything that I just experienced just kind of went out the window. You know, I wasn't even thinking about the doctors. I wasn't thinking about nobody. I was just looking at his face, and that's all I could just like. I just thank God, because he was just everything that I wanted and more, and I couldn't be happier, and he just filled me with so much joy. So after they put him on me, he was on me for like a few minutes, or I think he was on me for a few minutes, and then they took him, and my husband left with him, and when they left, the nurses immediately just like started, you know, getting me cleaned up, and they picked me up and moved me to another bed, and that was the bed that they carried me out on. So immediately after they put me on the bed, they carried me to they pushed me to the post-operating room. So it was like 3 different rooms that I went to, I believe. And I don't even remember a lot of that. Like afterwards, it was just like kind of like a blur to me, because I remember during the surgery, the lady had gave me some kind of medicine. I think it was called Valium or something like that. I'm not really sure what it does. I guess she said it was to kind of like ease my mind or something like that, because I guess maybe my heart rate was a little bit high because of what the doctor was saying while he was cutting me open. So I just remember being kind of like, whoa, like kind of high, you know. But what else? Yeah, so I got to the room, and like I said, I don't really remember a lot of that afterwards, after the surgery, like immediately. I just remember being pushed to the hospital on the bed, and the baby, see, I really don't remember the rest of that. But as far as the cesarean and stuff like that, that's pretty much the part that I can remember. And of course, after the medicine started to wear off, when I was in my postpartum room, and you know, I got to hold the baby and started breastfeeding and all that stuff like that. So that was pretty much my experience. They had me there for 2 days in the hospital. They were trying to keep me for 3. Hi, baby. You okay? He's taking a nap. So they were trying to keep me, They were trying to keep me for 3 days, but I was like, nah. Y'all can miss me with that. I'm only gonna be here for 2. So, you know, of course I had to, you know, pee and walk and do a few things to make sure that I was, you know, okay to leave. And of course the baby as well. So everything was perfect. Everything was fine. Thank God. You know, all glory to God. And they let us leave after 2 days. So yeah, so after those 2 days we were gone, and that was pretty much it. And I just want to thank God, because honestly, I'm sure it could have went a lot worse. It could have, you know, been something that was completely traumatizing, but it wasn't. It was a very, very smooth and just very, you know, well done procedure. Like everything was just how it was supposed to be. Long story short. What's the matter? Okay. He wants to introduce himself too. Say hi, my name is Ernest, and I am new to YouTube. You don't want to say hi? Say hi. Hi. You okay? What's your meow? What's your meow? Okay, he probably don't like the camera right now. But that's okay. If you guys had any experiences that were different, I would love to hear, you know, the experiences that you guys have. Feel free to write down in the comments, you know, share your experience and what you went through, and you know how different it was for you. You know, it could probably help someone out there who's never had a cesarean, who might be scheduled for one. So yeah, feel free to share your thoughts or whatever. But that's pretty much all I have. If you guys want to see any other kind of videos of me and baby, you know, feel free to leave any suggestions you may have down below. I would love to record some more stuff for you guys and keep you guys updated about with him. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, thank you again. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, and be free. I love y'all. Take it easy. Bye.